Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Noelle and I review and unbox subscription boxes here on my channel. And today I am very excited to share with you one of the May Premium Experience Authentic Books boxes, which was sent to me for review. So I say one of because every month you get to select between 3 different titles. So there's a variety of genres: contemporary fiction, often a thriller, sometimes a romance. And I just think that is really, really nice in terms of getting a book selection every month that you are going to enjoy. And then you also heard me say that this is the premium experience because there are 3 different subscription tiers. So there is the mini experience, which is $42 plus shipping. The shipping, I believe, is still $9.99 on all of the boxes. And that includes, of course, your selected book, as well as a Spotify playlist, a candle, a bookmark, a donation to an organization, a charity, which I think is awesome as well, and what she calls a touch item, because the whole idea about these experiences is that they speak to all of the senses. So obviously the book is going to be for the sense of sight, the candle is for the sense of smell, that playlist for your ears, and then of course we have that touch item, which is always really nice as well. Now everything increases with each successive tier. So then you have the full experience, which is going to have all of those things that are in the mini, but it's going to have an extra self-care or touch item. Often it's a self-care item, but a lot of these days it's more of a lifestyle box item, if that's a category that makes sense to you, as well as an additional taste item. And you get to choose now between tea, coffee, or a cocktail mixer and recipe. So I love choices. I love me some customization in a box. And then finally there is the premium experience, like what I have here, and that again is going to add 2 more items to the box, which is going to be a 3rd touch item, as well as, in addition to your drink of choice, then you're going to get a premium chocolate. So I always suggest going for the premium experience if you are able to, and that is $62 plus shipping. Now what's really nice is you can do one of those lower tiers, but there's add-ons available, as well as the option to add on some of the other book selections. If you were like, I just couldn't choose, but I'll go for the box experience with this title, but I also want to get the other titles, there is that option too. I do have a discount code for you. It's Noelle10. That'll save you 10%. As always, I'll leave that for you down below. Now, Authentic Books, within our little Nobot community here on this channel, we decided it was the best book subscription of 2022. So we are going with Authentic Book selections over in the Nobot Nook, which is our private Facebook group, for our book nook or our book club. And we're doing the book club on a quarterly basis. So we just made our selection for our 3rd book for our 3rd quarter, but there is still time to subscribe to get in on it, because it would be, I believe, the July box. Yes, that's correct. So all right, so the book that I selected for this time around was called Yellowface. It's a highly anticipated book. It is a nice hardcover. It has this Authentic Book seal on the front. And then, of course, we also get our accompanying guide. So what I think is really amazing that she makes an accompanying guide for every single edition of the box. Inside, we do have information about the contents, and those are they're kind of set up this way now, where it's the sight, the smell, then we have the taste, taste 2 over here, and then we have our 3 touch items here. And it does have a little key where it tells you which boxes it's included in. And of course, for example, touch number 3 is only in the premium boxes. The chocolate is only in the premium boxes. We usually get, let's see, a book cocktail and story eats that are linked to the book. And if I can, I'll read the passages that have to do with that. There's usually a Meet the Makers highlight. In this case, the Makers, the item was actually substituted because I think there was some quality issues, but hopefully we will see some items from them in the future. Then we have some nice discount codes from some of the vendors, as well as an editor's note from Natisha, who is the curator, the founder of the box, and they're doing their own book club as well, which you could definitely be a part of that, as well as our book club. And then again, this is your impact. This is the contributions that are made on your behalf as a subscriber. So I'm going to prop this up in front of me. I'm going to try to read some of the passages of the book because I think that really brings it to life. Once upon a time, they did have page numbers for the inspiration of some of the items, and I think eventually when things sort of settle down, because they are going to open a brick and mortar shop in Florida, which I think is really cool. I would love to visit one day. Once some of that settles down, they've just been so busy that I think maybe we'll start to get some page numbers associated with the gifts along with. So One of the things that's always in there is going to be our beautiful bookmark, and it has this nice glossy tassel on it, and I love this like bright yellow image to go along, of course, with the cover of the book. And there is a quote on the back. It says, "I'm terrified that the only thing I'll ever be remembered for and the only method by which I can produce good work is slipping on someone else's skin," which of course is kind of creepy sounding as well. So, and then we have a signed book plate from the author, which we learn inside because it's a very meta novel in some ways. It can be a tiresome thing for those authors. And then of course we have our book playlist, which sometimes is in the booklet and sometimes we have it on this little business card. I just think it's interesting because, of course, you can probably guess from the title of the book what this is all about, but we do have an Asian author who is actually writing in the voice of a white woman who is sort of writing about an Asian topic, and so it's often assumed that she is actually Asian. So there's a lot of layers here, but let me go ahead and read the blurb to you, and then we'll get into the book itself and the gifts. So it says, "White lies, dark humor, deadly consequences. Best-selling sensation Juniper Song is not who she says she is. She didn't write the book she claims she wrote, and she is most certainly not Asian American. In this chilling and hilariously cutting novel from the #1 New York Times best-selling author R.F. Kuang." So I do think it's interesting. You probably would guess that she is Asian, but for example, you wouldn't guess from my name, from my surname, that I am Asian, and I have like a very strange experience because I was raised by white parents. So a lot of the sort of identity politics and who's allowed to write what and who's allowed to have the voice of whom was very interesting to me, and that's why I was so into it. But I will say she is a very accomplished author. She's written, this is not like a debut novel. She has masters in Chinese studies. She has masters in contemporary Chinese studies from Cambridge and Oxford, respectively, and she's now pursuing a PhD in East Asian languages and literatures at Yale. So this gal is very accomplished. But let me read some more of the blurb. Authors June Hayward and Athena Liu were supposed to be twin rising stars, but Athena's a literary darling. June Hayward is literally nobody. Who wants stories about basic white girls, June thinks. So when June witnesses Athena's death in a freak accident, she acts on impulse. She steals Athena's just-finished masterpiece, an experimental novel about the unsung contributions of Chinese laborers during World War I. So what if June edits Athena's novel and sends it to her agent as her own work? So what if she lets her new publisher rebrand her as Juniper Song, complete with an ambiguously ethnic author photo? Doesn't this piece of history deserve to be told, whoever the teller? That's what June claims, and the New York Times bestseller list seems to agree. But June can't get away from Athena's shadow, and emerging evidence threatens to bring June's stolen success down around her. As June races to protect her secret, she discovers exactly how far she will go to keep what she thinks she deserves. With its totally immersive first-person voice, Yellowface grapples with questions of diversity, racism, and cultural appropriation, as well as the terrifying alienation of social media. R.F. Kuang's novel is timely, razor-sharp, and eminently readable, and I did find it really delightful. There were some elements of it in terms of the world of academia. I don't know a lot about the world of book publishing, but the world of academia, I was totally engrossed, and she totally had me hook, line, and sinker. So I really thought it was great and well done personally. So I haven't looked at the other reviews of it, but I really liked it. So let's go ahead and read some passages that I went ahead and marked just because I kind of found them interesting. But we can talk about the soy candle. Now, they always make the candles in-house at Authentic Books, and lately she has been working with the authors to create the scents, which I think is really cool. So this is an author collaborated box. So it says the name of this candle, which you can buy the candles individually at Authentic Books too, is Belle Infidèle, inspired by Yellowface. It is scents of Georgetown Spring and Sweet Delusion. So of course we don't know what those scents actually are, but a nice bright sunny label there. It says Belle Infidèle was inspired by fresh spring in Georgetown with notes of sweet citrus and warm oak moss. Our candles are always hand stirred, poured in the Authentic Books studio using non-toxic ingredients. And this of course is going to be in the mini, full, and premium boxes. Let's see what it looks like on top. Sometimes they do include some lovely little items. I guess this is supposed to be maybe jade. And then, oh, that is nice. It does smell like oak moss. It kind of reminds me of Dumbarton Oaks, out there in DC. I don't know a lot about DC in all honesty, so for me it was it wasn't something I knew about, nor do I know about like Yale, but I kind of know about that world of like Ivy academics, etc. So it's kind of interesting though, because she did put the Lonely Hearts Club blurb right here next to the yellow face image, which was our last book club read. All right, so we had our candle. And then for taste number 1, this is where I can talk to you. There was the Sunday morning's flavored coffee, or the tea, which was a pinky up tea. I, of course, get the cocktail mix. This is just in a can. It is a gold old fashioned. So it's a non-alcoholic cocktail, which of course you can add spirits to if you choose to. It's aged oak barrel, bitter orange, and zesty dandelion, plus chocolate Thai terpenes, which I don't know what chocolate Thai terpenes are, but they sound good. So it's crisp and crude is the name actually on the can. And then of course that goes along with our book cocktail, which is a gold fashioned. So it's this crisp and crude gold fashioned is a mix between the two drinks, an old fashioned and a gold rush. You can sip it for a non-alcoholic drink or add your choice of bourbon or whiskey to make it alcoholic. And of course, Athena is all about drinking whiskey because it's so sophisticated. So let me go ahead and read that page that it was inspired by. So June has gone over to Athena's house, and let's see what she says. Let's see. So then, whiskey or something lighter? Athena points to the wine fridge. She has an effing wine fridge. Riesling, or I have this lovely Sauvignon Blanc, unless you want to stick to red. Whiskey, I say, because the only way to get through the rest of this night is to get as drunk as possible. Neat, on the rocks, or old-fashioned? I have no clue how to drink whiskey. Whatever you're having. Old-fashioned, then. She darts into her kitchen. Moments later, I hear cupboards opening, dishes clanging. Who knew old-fashions were such a hassle? I have this beautiful 18-year whistle pig, she calls out. It's so smooth, like toffee and black pepper mixed together. Just wait, you'll see. Sure, I call back. Sounds great. So Athena, of course, has this sort of like vague, like boarding school British accent, and I definitely knew gals like that, so that's why I gave her that voice when I was reading it. So it makes sense because Athena was a whiskey drinker, so they were going to have an old-fashioned. And then I have this other passage that goes along with the story Eats, which is a food recipe, which is pandan pancakes, and Little spoiler here, the pandan pancakes do play an important role in this book in terms of the demise of Athena, which does come early on, so and that's not a spoiler at all. So June's still over at Athena's house. Then suddenly it's midnight and we're making pancakes from scratch, no box mix, and embellished with several dollops of pandan extract in the now neon green batter because Athena Lou doesn't do normal pancakes. Like vanilla, but better, she explains. It's fragrant and herbal, like you're taking a big breath of the forest. I can't believe white people haven't learned about pandan yet. She flips them off the pan and onto my plate. The pancakes are burnt and uneven, but they smell incredible, and I realize then that I'm starving. I wolf one down with my hands, then look up to see Athena staring at me. I wipe my fingers, terrified I've disgusted her, but then she laughs and challenges me to an eating contest. And then there's a timer going, and we're shoveling down the gloppy, half-cooked pancakes as quickly as we can, swigging milk in between to help the bulging lumps down our throats. So, little, like, light moment there. But that is where the story Eats came from. All right, so then let's move on. We've seen our candle, we've seen our cocktail mix, and again, taste number 1, that would only be in the medium and full-size boxes, or the full and premium boxes. And then we also, of course, have our compartes. So let's go ahead and talk about our touches. Touch number 1, which is going to be in all of the boxes, and we got this. Let's see, where did I find it? I think it's in here. So this is the Notorious Liquid Lip Color by Rude Cosmetics. This is one of the first times I think we've gotten a cosmetics item. So it did come in that little pouch, and then we got this. It says Notorious Liquid Lip Color by Rude with high coverage and long-lasting wear is notorious as you want it to be. So I haven't actually opened it up. I guess I need to do that. So I think that's kind of fun. I don't know that everybody would love a red lip color, but every once in a while I feel like you need it in your arsenal. So it's Radical Red. Let's see if I can get into this. I do like a good red lip color, so I'm wondering if it's a liquid lip color, if it's a nice quick drying matte color. It looks a little bit pink, but it also looks like something that I'll use. So Then we have touch number 2. Now, touch number 2 was supposed to be the Lemon and Lime Essentials Reed Diffuser from James & Co. Fragrance. That's the item that I actually went ahead and wrote to them online, but I should have sent them an email. But I talked to our book goddess, our book club leader, Priscilla, and she let me know that she also reached out to them. And what we were supposed to get was the diffuser, but because of issues with quality, they went ahead and substituted it with this Literary Elitist linen spray in pineapple citrus. So we love a linen spray. So that was a good substitution. Now, the last 2 items that we have that would only be in the premium boxes, which is what I have here, is this Compartes Chocolatier, the Nightcap, which is a dark chocolate whiskey. I am so excited. Compartes Nightcap Whiskey, dark chocolate bars infused with the finest whiskey. Deep dark chocolate lures you in closer as whiskey and chocolate collide in this tempting delight. And I love the Compartes bars that we've gotten before. And then finally, touch number 3, of course, which is only in the premium boxes. This is delightful, and it looks like there was some variation. So that we've got the iconic Ladies Notebook from Seedlings, embellished with foil details. These books have 64 pages each and are banded together with plantable seed paper packaging that is biodegradable and embedded with seeds. So I think she got sets of them that had that band, but we don't get the band necessarily. But it's just a really nice flat notebook, and I do think the designs on them are pretty. So it looks like he would have gotten a different one depending on the assortment, but it does look like there are a couple of different patterns. But I thought that was actually a kind of a cool one. But let me go ahead. I wanted to read you a couple more passages from this book. I don't think there's like major spoilers in here, but if this is a book that you have on hand that you are planning to read, maybe hold off. I don't think there were any major spoilers here so far in the video. So she is getting ready, June is getting ready to market her book that she's kind of finished off and edited Athena's work of art, essentially, to be as her own. So she's talking to her editors. Jessica wraps up the marketing plan with some dates and deadlines for when they'll need promotional materials from me. There's a short pause. Emily clicks and double clicks her pen. So then the other thing we wanted to ask you is positioning. I realize I'm supposed to answer, right. Sorry, what do you mean? She and Jessica exchange a glance. Well, the thing is, this novel is set in large part in China, says Jessica, and given the recent conversations about, you know, cultural authenticity, Emily jumps in. I don't know if you follow some of the conversations online. Book bloggers and book Twitter accounts can be pretty picky about things these days. We just want to get ahead of any potential blow-ups, says Jessica, or pile-ons, as it were. I did hours and hours of research, I say. It's not like I, wrote from stereotypes. This isn't that kind of book. Of course, Emily says smoothly, but you're not, I see what she's getting at. I'm not Chinese, I say curtly, if that's what you're asking. It's not own voices or whatever you want to call it. Is that a problem? No, not at all. We're just covering our bases, and you're not, anything else? Emily winces the moment those words leave her mouth, like she knows she shouldn't have said that. I am white, I clarify. Are you saying we'll get in trouble because I wrote this story and I'm white? So these are the kinds of issues that we're dealing with in this book, and I think it's really well written. I did mark this little passage that I thought that you would appreciate as subscription box lovers. So again, part of the marketing process. In the UK, the last front is chosen for the Readaholics book box. I didn't know book boxes were such a major industry, but apparently subscription services like Readaholics send books out in cute crates with accompanying merchandise to tens of thousands of customers a month. The Readaholics book box edition of The Last Front will have special deckled pages and ship out along with a cruelty-free vegan leather tote bag, a collectible keychain featuring various jade Chinese zodiac animals. And for a special fee, you can take a personality quiz online to determine your zodiac affinity, and a selection of sustainably sourced single origin green teas from Taiwan. Sounds like a book box, right? Absolutely. All right, and then at the very, very end, you guys, there's 2 points of view in this book. And again, I think she's done a really good job as an Asian woman, writing as a white woman who's writing as an Asian woman, or marketing herself as an Asian woman. So I thought I would just read these 2, and I'll try to leave names out so that I don't give you any major spoilers. But it's true, isn't it? Athena had made it. You people, I mean, diverse people, you're all they want. Oh my God, she presses a palm against her forehead. You really are insane. Do all white people talk like this? It's true, I insist. I'm just the only one who saw it. Do you know how much shit Athena got from this industry? She demands. They marked her as their token, exotic Asian girl. Every time she tried to branch out to new projects, they kept insisting that Asian was her brand, what her audience expected. They never let her talk about anything other than being an immigrant, other than the fact that half her family died in Cambodia, that her dad killed himself on the 20th anniversary of Tiananmen. Racial trauma sells, right? They treated her like a museum object. That was her marketing point, being a Chinese tragedy. She leaned into it too. She knew the rules. She effing milked it for all it was worth. And if Athena is a success story, what does that mean for the rest of us? Her voice hardens. Do you know what it's like to pitch a book and be told they already have an Asian writer? That they can't put out 2 minority stories in the same season? That Athena Liu already exists, so you're redundant? This industry is built on silencing us, stomping us into the ground, and hurling money at white people to produce racist stereotypes of us. And then here is the other side of it. Let's see, the other side of it is on page 309. Sorry, you guys, there was a last little bit that I was going to read to you, but I think I'll leave it. So let's see. Ever since The Last Front came out, I have been victim to people like Candace and Diana and Adele, people who think that just because they're oppressed and marginalized, they can do or say whatever they want, that the world should put them on a pedestal and shower them with opportunities, that reverse racism is okay, that they can bully, harass, and humiliate people like me just because I'm white, just because that counts as punching up. Because in this day and age, women like me are the last acceptable target. Racism is bad, but you can still send death threats to Karens. So I think this is really how a lot of people feel on both sides of the coin. As a minority writer, as a white writer, what you're allowed to write about, who determines what you're allowed to write about, and how it's going to be responded to in social media. So I thought she did a great job, and it was very interesting. I don't think it's really hard to choose sides in this book, but I thought that Natisha also did a great job of curating the box, our subscription box that goes along with it, and I would love to see more things from this author and more contemporary fiction along these lines that has these kind of interesting topics that I think you could really dive into in a good book club as well. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. I'd certainly appreciate a comment and a thumbs up, and I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing.